Our next guest is the highest-ranking woman ever elected in the United States. She is a warrior from the Golden State. Please welcome the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. Thank you for coming. How are things going in Washington? Anything interesting happening?
I'm really happy to be here.
Do you feel a sense of relief when you come back home to California?
Well, it's always, this is heaven on earth. You know, we're very proud in California.
It's the best state. It's
fabulous.
Yeah.
It's fabulous. And tonight, the Golden State Warriors are...
Yeah, right, yeah. You were from that area.
Yes,
That's your
indeed.
district. Do you watch the games?
Always.
You do?
I watch all the games because I want to size up what's coming next from the other
Who is your
teams.
favorite player on the Warriors?
Oh, you don't think I would say that.
Oh, really? Okay.
They're all wonderful.
All right.
But I do have a Draymond Green, one of his shirts signed. You know, I won at an auction because every team needs somebody like that.
Is it one of his dress shirts or is it a jersey?
Oh, it's a jersey.
Yesterday, Robert Mueller finally spoke, and he made it. And he stepped down. He made a statement, and he said, I wrote it down here. He said, "If we had confidence that the president clearly did not commit a crime, we would have said so." So he didn't say so, and then he indicated that now it's Congress's job to take it from here.
That's right.
Are you taking it from there?
Well, we've been on that path for a while, and when we do get to where we're going to be ready.
But it feels like we've been on the path for a really, really long while.
We really have, well...
Like since the 70s.
You have to remember, we've only had the majority, right. The Democratic majority.
That's true.
You got that?
Yeah.
Since this year, and the first month, government was shut down, you remember.
Right.
So we have, I'm very proud of our chairman. We had a big week last week. We won 3 court cases and 1 decision by the Justice Department to give us documents. We have to be ready. It is, it's a very, our founders, I always like to say this, our founders, in the darkest days of the revolution, they said, the times have found us. Well, I think right now the times have found us. We have a defiance of the Constitution of the United States.
Right.
And so when we go down this path, we have to be ready, and it has to be clear to the American people, and we have to hope that it will be clear to the Republicans in this United States Senate.
So are you saying that you want to make sure everybody's on board before you would get into something like impeachment?
No, I'm not saying... Well, we're on a path to gain information. The public deserves to know the truth.
Yes.
The facts.
And yet...
And so, when you go down a path like impeachment, which is very divisive, it could divide the country.
Sure.
But let's just put it this way. We understand our oath of office to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Apparently, the president does not understand.
No, I think he understands it.
His oath of office.
He just doesn't love the Constitution that much.
Well, he doesn't honor the oath to protect and defend. So what we have to do, we know our responsibility, but again, because it is divisive, we have to try to bring people together. E pluribus unum, I quote our founders again, from many one. They couldn't imagine how many we would be or how different we would be from each other. But they knew we had to try in what we did to unify and not divide. So let me just say this immodestly. I probably have a better idea as to what the president has to be held accountable for than anyone.
Have you read the Mueller Report?
Yes, I have. The only
Even the blacked out parts?
No.
Oh, yeah, right.
We're calling for that. They would show it to me, but I said, why? I'm not going to let you show it to me unless you show it to the whole country.
Oh, interesting. I would want to see it. Will they show it to me?
The only person who knows better than I why this president is not above the law, why this president must be held accountable, the only person who knows better than I do is the President of the United States. He knows. He knows what his violations have been.
I don't think he even knows. I don't think he...
Well, he may not care, but I think he knows.
Yeah, I think sometimes they do things and they go, oh, that's not allowed, and then they kind of go back and try to figure out what it was and how they can keep it quiet.
Yeah, you know what really bugs me about that? Because when you see what they say, oh, I didn't know it was wrong to talk to Russians about this, I didn't know. I said, how do you explain that to kids in the hood when they're approached by law enforcement and they say, well, I didn't realize that I was supposed to do this or that. Well, you're supposed to know. But these very wealthy people with high-priced lawyers can get away with saying, I didn't know it was wrong.
Right, that's why we need you to get in there and to take care of this and just do something to these guys. These guys, here's what drives me crazy. Because I believe, honestly, that I know it may sound disingenuous, but I hope the president didn't do anything. I hope that when they look through the Mueller report, it is what he says it is. We don't want that in the United States.
Exactly.
But, we haven't had a chance to see the Mueller report. It seems like when you subpoena somebody in Congress, for some reason, it seemed like you've got subpoenaed by Congress, you had to go in and speak. Now it's like, I don't know if I'm going to do that. If I do, I have some different terms can't you put those people in jail if they say they're not going to?
Well, you can find them, and you could. Let me just, because you mentioned several things.
Yes.
Why I think the president wants us to impeach him.
You think he wants us to impeach him?
Well, he knows it's not a good idea to be impeached, but the silver lining for him is then he believes that he would be exonerated by the United States Senate.
I see.
And there is a school of thought that says if the Senate acquits you, why bring charges against him in the private sector when he's no longer president? So when we go out there with our case, it's got to be ironclad.
So because the Senate leans Republican,
No, not leans.
Yeah.
Completely in the pocket of Donald Trump, Republican.
Right.
Right. So,
right.
Yeah.
And you think that those Republican senators, even if they know he committed a crime, will side with Donald Trump?
They have been every day, and not one of them has spoken up. But in any case, here's the thing, just as you said, we would hope the best for our country. This is a country whose heart is full of love. The American people are so good. We have our differences. We have to be respectful of that and again, try to unify, not divide in what we do. But I do think as we go down this path, the American people will know the truth and the president will be held accountable. But you have to go down that path when you're as ready as you can possibly be. And you don't know that until you go down the path.
Will we be ready before the year 2020?
Yeah,
we will be ready? Okay, all right. The Speaker of the House is here. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with Nancy Pelosi. We're talking about bringing people together, and I don't know that that's possible. And I'll give you a reason why I don't know if it's possible. Because when these opinion polls, if they are to be believed, we feel like we're so divided right now. But, let's put the opinion polls up on the wall. These are on various subjects. Okay. Option of Medicare for all. 74% of Americans favor that. Coverage for pre-existing conditions, 75% in favor. Oppose a wall, 58%. Stricter gun laws, 67%. Universal background checks, 97%. Action on climate change, 66%. Abortion should be legal in most or all cases, 58%. And yet, that's all well and good, but unfortunately, does it come down to party identification more than anything? Because it would seem that if, for instance, there's a subject that 97% of Americans agree on, that everyone would come together and support that.
Well, let me just say, the elections have ramifications, and we have passed many of those proposals in the House of Representatives in the last 3 or 4 months since we've been there. Gun safety legislation, Violence Against Women Act. We're always protecting the pre-existing condition. And thank you so much for your making it so well known what was at stake in the Affordable Care Act.
To me, there's not even I just don't understand anyone who feels differently. I just think that if your neighbor was in that situation, you'd say, yes, of course we shouldn't preclude this person from health care coverage because they have something they have no control over. But what really frustrates me more than anything is that more people who represent us don't stand up and say, that's true. And you know what? I'm going to go with it because it's true.
Well, let me just say on that health care, and how is Billy? Is he fine?
He's doing great.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
We all pray for him.
Thank you.
On the Affordable Care Act, we were able to fight off the attempts by the Republicans in the last, is not supposed to use Republican word, by the others who opposed health care, the Republicans on the other they had like 60-some attempts to abolish the Affordable Care Act, or pieces of it, really going after the pre-existing condition benefit, which is really, in my view, sinful. And the reason we were successful was not because of us inside our maneuvering. It was the outside mobilization. For example, we passed the gun violence protection bill just for background checks. A modest bill passed overwhelmingly, has overwhelming support, as you indicated, in the public. But in the Senate, they've said we're going to bury it. We're the Grim Reaper. We're going to bury it in the graveyard of the Senate. When we're depending on what Abraham Lincoln said, public sentiment is everything. With it, you can accomplish almost anything. Without it, practically nothing.
Do you feel handicapped by the fact that the president doesn't pay any regard to what is true, is that he just says whatever he wants to say, and the people who support him believe him, even though, you know, reasonable, impartial sources look at his statements? I mean, he lied 4 times in one tweet today.
Yeah.
Is it how do you combat that?
Well, I think the American people are on to him.
Oh, no, they're not.
Well,
they're not.
his 39%, or let's give him 40%, for some reason, he connects with them. But overwhelmingly, the country is on to him. Myself, I'm done with him in terms of talking about him. What we want to talk about is let's build the infrastructure of America and not have him stomped out of the ring. Let's have affordable. We had for the people our agenda when we ran. For the people, lower health care costs by lowering the cost of prescription drugs and saving the pre-existing condition benefit. Lower health care costs, bigger paychecks by building the infrastructure of America in a green way to preserve the planet, to address the climate crisis.
Yeah, it would be nice if we could preserve the planet, because a lot of us live here on it.
And there's no plan B. And then the third, well, the first two, I think that he has expressed an interest in working with us on that.
Infrastructure,
well, we'll see. The third, I'm not sure he's too interested. Cleaner government, lower health care, bigger paychecks, cleaner government to reduce the role of big, dark money, special interest money in politics. For example, that is harming our ability to get gun safety legislation passed. That is harming our ability to get the other side of the aisle to support our climate action now legislation to save the planet. The list goes on and on. So it is important to note the importance of reducing the role of money to getting better policy.
Can I make one suggestion? The next time you go into a meeting, a negotiation with him, bring McNuggets. I think it's not going to hurt. Thank you for being here. Good luck. Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, everyone. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel. Click below to subscribe to our YouTube channel, or if you want to be that way about it, don't.